Good morning, everybody. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
And you see we have a guest, and we are not in our normal home studio. We are actually in Washington, D.C., or more correctly, Arlington, Virginia, for the, you can see our shirts, Your Weight Matters conference with the Obesity Action Coalition. So we've met lots of cool people here, and of course, we're going to do some Downsized Dish interviews with them. Today, I'm excited to welcome Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Mike on a mission.
Nice to have you. Nice to have me.
So, as you guys know, this is another in our series of Downsized Dish interviews where we've talked to people who are actually using GLP-1s on a daily basis and how they're living their lives, how they're doing social media, how they're communicating, the whole 9 yards. So lots of good opportunities for people to sleep, love, good active life, though. We always like to start with, we are not doctors. I am not a doctor. Lorraine's not a doctor. Mike's not a doctor. If you need help, please go to your doctor and get personal plan to make sure that you're taken care of health-wise, as well as please like and subscribe to the Downsized. Mike also has a whole complement of social media, so tell them where to find you. Mike.
I am Mike.on-a-mission2 at TikTok, which is my main channel. I am on Instagram under the same name. On X, Twitter, I am GLP-1 Mike. So
Cool.
So if you're new here, I've personally lost 100 pounds using Zepbound, Mounjaro, and compounded Tirzepatide. How about you, Laraine?
I've lost over 50 pounds on compounded Tirzepatide.
And I've lost 112 on name brand Mounjaro and compounded Tirzepatide.
Woo woo.
Woo, woo. Well, very good. Well, so start by telling us about you, Mike.
Sure. So my name's Mike Donnelly Boylan. I am a education legal strategist. That's what I do for a living. But 15 months ago, I was in a really low space in my life. I'd pretty much given up. I tried every diet in the book, and my weight every time I had another diet got bigger and bigger. And I had assumed at that point that I was just going to die in my 50s. That was just going to be
What was
where
your
it was.
highest weight?
372.
Okay.
And it just kept creeping up. There was no stopping it. And I consider it a blessing in some random way that I got access to these medications because I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Otherwise, I wasn't going to be able to get Zepbound. And immediately took to it. And it's been an amazing experience because truthfully, I have been preparing the documents at home so that when I pass my husband, okay, I won't be in there anymore. So it saved my life. And I celebrate the day I started as my new birthday.
Oh,
I love that.
great.
I mean, it's tragic because I had the same feeling. Like, my mom passed a few years older than I am today. I just got a little going there. Like to be here. Could see over a story for a lot. It's a very I don't hear that a lot from women. I mean, you?
No.
But for men, we're going to be dead.
Yeah. How many weeks did it take? How long's your journey been?
So I've been on this 15 and a half months now. I used to count week by week, and I would post week to week,
Yeah.
everything what the scale said, but at some point I stopped. People eat so much more than
Right.
scale.
Like we're 93 weeks. Okay. At what point? My baby is 260 months old.
Yep. Yep.
You know. Well, that's great. That's great. So, being a type 2 diabetic, how do you think that affected your weight loss? You've lost 112 pounds, so it's obviously going pretty good.
Yeah, I know what the data shows. It hasn't been my story, and I did it because they caught it early, where I wasn't like a type 2 diabetic
For that long.
for like 6 years, and that's been that situation. My mom is a type 2 diabetic who's now taking Mounjaro, and she's losing, but not nearly at the rate that I did.
Interesting, sir. And so how's your diabetes doing now?
It's great. Last day once the check, I was at 5.6, so I was in full remission.
Awesome. Yep.
And that was about a 9-month journey for that to completely down.
So talk to us about those first couple of weeks when you started taking the medicine, because to me, that's always the kind of aha moment, those first few doses.
Yeah, it really was. I think the most interesting part for me was when the food noise shut off, the realization that this has never all been my fault. It took me probably about 6 weeks, and I remember being in a live on a TikTok that I was just listening to. That's sort of a support group on Friday nights, and I just broke down bawling because someone said the question was, "What would you say to yourself? Have you forgiven yourself, the before version of yourself?" And the answer was no. I went through this whole process and I realized it wasn't my fault. And I think the moment for me that I realized that, I got so infuriated at the lack of access, because once you realize it's not your fault, and it's just like having cancer. No one's going to deny a cancer patient, let's say a lung cancer patient, their medications.
Right.
They're not going to say, well, it's your fault because you smoked.
Right. Oh, wow. That's a great analogy.
But they do say that to us.
They do say that to people with obesity.
Superior.
Yeah. So obesity is a disease. It's not your fault. I think that's really, I don't think we can say that enough. And, the first couple times I heard that, I saying like tears, like, what? I've always been told, well, just stop eating. Just don't eat so much. Or I never could, So it's a very emotional thing when you realize obesity is a disease, like type 2 diabetes, like cancer, like, a lot of these things you would never deny someone medication for. You said, like,
Sorry, no, but they moralize us, right? We're slothful. We are gluttonous. All those things.
It's the only thing like this that is actually a deadly sin.
Right. Very true. Very true.
Well, yeah.
I didn't make it up.
No.
I didn't make it up.
I learned that in my catechism class.
Well, so you're down 112 pounds, you said. So how else has that impacted your life?
Oh, I've completely gotten my life back. I now go hiking. I couldn't walk 2 blocks without being here next to me. And now I do all sorts of things that I wouldn't do. I remember one of the moments, and I feel like there's a big overlap on the GLP-1 social media space, people who are Disney people, right?
Yeah.
And there was this moment at Disney where this last time I went, my husband took me aside and said, "I just want to tell you that I assumed the next time that we kick, you were in a seer."
Oh.
The donkeys are walking around the park. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like, I literally have my life back.
We had one viewer that said it was her goal to walk around Epcot,
The world's sure is, yeah.
be able to walk all the way around. Yeah.
My big goal is to travel a ton. I've been in 49 states. I've done it all, right? Was to not have to have a seatbelt extender. And I remember
I've got a video of that.
I remember being on the plane when it happened. I think I filmed it.
Yeah.
I was crying. I wasn't expecting it, because the night before, I had this entire shaming experience of not being able to fit in the booth at a restaurant, right? And then to know that it didn't need an extender, but I couldn't fit to the booth, was like, in a 24-hour period, it was a completely blew my mind.
Well, so talk to us. People always want to know about side effects, because everybody's afraid of, if you listen to Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, whatever, everyone is now exploding from constipation. Oh my gosh. Talk to us about.
Yeah, I've had very mild side effects. In my first month, what surprised me, and this was, don't they call it alopecia?
Yeah, I get it.
I actually,
Skin sensitivity.
yeah, for me, it was weird. I got, I couldn't put moisturizer on my face without it burning. And someone told me, their dermatologist had said this was a thing, and to do a different moisturizer. CeraVe, it was the moisturizer I used. And it was completely fine. I was spending crazy money on a stupid moisturizer to make my skin burn. That stopped after maybe 3 more weeks. And then when I went up from 5 to 7.5, I started getting mild constipation. And once I figured out what the right mix of things for my body, it's almost impossible. It rarely ever happens. Like, once I do, okay, if I do the grooms and I do the Miralax and I do this, and this is my little cocktail from my body, it works.
What dose are you on now?
I'm on 10.
10.
What are you guys?
I'm on a maintenance dose of 7.5.
So I'm in maintenance now, 21 weeks, 22 weeks.
Well,
15 on a week, and I'm not going down, and I'm not spreading them out. I'm not doing it.
I'm reaching out to you guys when I hit maintenance one day, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's out there, man. It's, to me, we talk to so many people that had so little hope, and every week both lost 100 pounds, 200 pounds, and it's possible. Like, there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
It is possible. One of the things I find sad on social media, though, is many people, when they get maintenance, don't feel like they belong anymore because they can't get that sort of dopamine hit of every week saying, oh my God, I've got 2 down. So
Yeah.
doing everyone a service, but still staying in the community and talking about maintenance, I just want to see where that from.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, I mean, we did for, I don't know, 70 weeks or something, a weekly weigh-in where we just like keep shooting our weight, did all the things, and you get good hits because you're like, I'm down, blah, blah, blah. And
Yep.
so it was for us a challenge, and it's an ongoing challenge to figure out, because that's the thing we like to do. Then how do you evolve that to still be relevant, for people to still care? You know, because I don't need to just randomly talk to a boss.
I
It's
get
just
that.
craziness.
Okay, it's craziness.
I have a question about type 2 diabetic related. So will you keep moving up in dose as you continue your journey?
So it's a great question. So my primary care doctor knew nothing about these medications.
Oh.
He handed me the box, and I said, what do I need to know about these meds? And he literally sent me to the American Diabetes Association's website.
All right.
That was it. And he was reading the instruction manual on the box, which is the Eli Lilly trials, right? It's you go up every month. It's like, for type 2 diabetes, you do this. And I knew from social media that was not what the obesity certified doctors said, right? So I actually hired one as a coach to be able to say, I'm sorry, you're my diabetes doctor, and these are my weight loss doctors. And I've had my A1C tested through the telehealth, and it's actually here now. So we don't need to be managing up more than my dose. But otherwise, I would have been on 15 in, in 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess you'll just move up slowly or as needed.
I go up as I'm not losing. If I'm on average still losing a pound a week.
Oh wow, that's great.
It's not every week. It's like I go 2.5, and then I don't lose for 2 weeks. But if you average it out on the app, you'll see that it's 4.2 typically per month right now.
Well, but that's important for people here.
Right.
As they hit that week where they didn't lose, or they might have been up a hair.
Right.
Well, that's why it's important to track your weight, right? Either on an app or, you scale app or a spreadsheet or something, because the average weight loss is a half a pound up to 2 pounds a week. So mine was 1.58 pounds per week.
Yeah. And I was at 2.2 for a long
Yeah.
time, right? So that's also getting.
I mean, you might be a
getting
good
calories.
responder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Well, mine was, I think I was at like 4 for the first
You dropped quick.
30 weeks or something.
And then-
but then as I got them first 60 pounds off, the last 40, the last 20, all of a sudden that average starts creeping down.
my husband's going through that as well. His starting weight is about 10 pounds larger than what I am right now. And it's really, he just, with my lifestyle change, he's losing. And I eventually capped out at about 220. And the 220 he wants to hit 275, he hit 280, so any texty thing. It's been interesting because it's so easy to get discouraged when the scale's just not looking as fast as it once was. It's so easy, and yet the medication's still working.
It's still working. Right. Do you ever think, oh, this isn't working anymore? Do you ever feel like you can
All the time.
out-eat the medication?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, the way my body reacts right now, it's like every 3 weeks I will drop or so. And therefore, when it's like at 2.5 weeks, I'm like, oh, that's it. Like the medication has reached
I'm
its
done.
peak
Yeah.
and my body's reached the set point. And then all of a sudden you see the scale and it's like, wow, what just happened again?
That's so great. I mean, your body just kind of takes that little time, to catch up, and then it'll start again. What do you think about set points and that whole kind of thing?
I don't know. I feel like I'm still figuring that part out,
Yeah.
right? Like my body, the way my body worked for my longest time was it just kept going back to 285. And that was most of my 20s, 30s, 40s. And then in my 40s, it just started to go.
Wow.
And so by the time I was 50, I was 370.
Were you a heavy kid, heavy teenager?
I was. I've
Yeah.
always been.
You've always struggled.
Whole life.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I remember realizing I got heavy was my first communion. I had a great aunt sort of tap me on the belly and ask me what was going on.
Oh.
But her family suffered with obesity and type 2 diabetes. Both of her parents had lost their legs to type 2 diabetes. So there was a lot of family trauma around that. And they were recognizing the fact that I was carrying weight the way that their side of the family was carrying it.
And they were concerned.
They were concerned.
Yeah. It's always, it's never fun when a relative says, "Oh, honey, what's going on?" You know, it's like, "Okay, grandma, thanks."
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I get all the numbers in because people ask us,
Yeah.
how tall are you?
I'm 5'9",
So you're 5'9", your starting weight was,
372,
and your current weight is,
252.
and you're on 10, you said?
And I should say, my starting weight on GLP-1 was 360 because I went from the time I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes to getting my PA. In the middle of the shortages to getting the medication, I had dropped 12 pounds just with diet and exercise.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. And you're how old?
I'm 52 years old.
People are always looking for somebody just like you.
No, I totally get that.
Just like
Totally get that.
Yeah. What's your goal weight?
I've never set a goal weight because I
Oh.
never thought I would
You never
actually
get there.
lose.
Mhm.
So I've worked this out in my head. I do a lot of DEXA scans. I try to do that every 5 to 6 months. My goal is to get my adipose tissue to a spot where it's about 2.5 pounds, which puts me at least close to the reasonably acceptable range. And my waist size of 36, which took me back to high school.
Wait, adipose tissue. Is that fat?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the deadly fat that's
Oh, like the visceral fat?
adipose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Scale says, my skillet tap says.
So I'm curious, did you try the free Sika scale?
I'm not doing. Yeah, I plan to do it today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I'd like to hear, because you do your DEXA scans
Yeah.
so often, I'd like to hear
Oh,
how
oh.
it compares.
and they allow you to do it, and I actually have the app, and I did it at the end of June, so it'll be pretty close to. I should be able to compare pretty closely.
So as part of the conference, we talked about it yesterday, live, there is Sika, which is a medical grade 8 points bioimpedance scale sales guy down there that's you can test it out for free. So
It's really cool. I mean, I'm really looking forward to trying it, and I am looking to use my daily because once you get the data and the DEXA, the app that I use or the company I use, it's like I can see all of them over time and see how it's. And the crazy part is because they say one of the big side effects you use that you lose your muscle mass. I mean, I've done work, but I've maintained every ounce of my muscle.
It's awesome. Did you exercise all the way through?
Yeah, I use is a doctor out there called Dr. Aldi Nowitzki who runs a program called the Fit Collective. You're gonna laugh, but it's 10 minutes 3 times a week, and you can do it from a chair.
Okay.
You know, you get 9 videos a week sent to you at 3 different levels, and the one that I do is super basic. I literally can use a chair to lean on or something to sit on, with just 3, 5, and 8 pound weights.
Okay.
And weights that buy on the store.
Yeah.
And doing that routine at 10 minutes 3 times a week, I've been able to maintain a muscle.
And did you start that when you started the medication, or did that come later?
I started it in June, and so probably 3 months in.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I had to layer things in to strange, right? Like when the food noise shuts off, your body becomes capable of more, but you can't take on, like I couldn't take on so much more that it would become unsustainable. So I just kept layering stuff in.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
that's
think
great.
that's an important conversation to have because, I don't know, it seems like right now there's so many people out there putting extra rollies on these meds that aren't necessarily bad ideas, don't get me wrong, but if you're your size and you can barely walk or it hurts, how many extra rules do we really need on day one?
Yeah, I'm a big believer that this journey is not about perfection. You can find what's working for you, and then that's just a tool that allow you this space to figure that out. And for me, that's what it's been for.
It amazes me because I get yelled at about exercise. Like somebody yelled at me because I wasn't taking Mango 7 every day. I'm like, I don't have constipation. Why do I need to take Mango 7
Oh my God.
every day?
I would online. The reason I even ended up on TikTok was my doctor had said nothing, right? So I went on TikTok, like my students tell me to find all my information. So I was like, what should I know about Mounjaro? And the first TikTok that came up was a doctor telling me, if your doctor just handed you a box of Mounjaro and you know nothing about it, here's what you need to know. And I was like, I'm hooked. My eyes off on TikTok.
This is amazing.
Because I never thought at age 50 I would be on TikTok at all, or be on camera on TikTok. Anyways, and then you fall into the hole of all of the other creators that are on these medications. And so within a week, I had a box this big of every kind of constipation that you could possibly imagine, out of fear that I was going to need it. And I never broke that box open until about 14 months in, and it wasn't for me. It was for my husband. By the way, he was a doctor who didn't listen to any of the advice I had given him on these medications. And he's the one that got constipated so badly that he needed the bag of center. So.
Have you changed the way you eat? What does your diet look like?
My diet looks completely different. For me, the meds have completely changed my tastes. When I first started, one of the sort of sticks I had on TikTok was I was addicted to pizza. Love pizza. Pizza was like my life. I was trying to find a way to maintain pizza in my life, and now I kind of forgot to resist it.
Wow.
I had a pizza slice last night. It was kind of a rare thing that we picked up, like a slice of fig and prosciutto pizza at the thing. The craziest thing to me was the thing that I craved. I craved, well, carbs generally, and cinnamon.
Oh.
I couldn't walk by a cinnamon bun. I couldn't do it. I have absolutely no interest in cinnamon, but I hated dark chocolate. Like, absolutely hated it. Now I'm craving.
Interesting.
It was one of those foods I never ever wanted. Every single day. That it's like the way I let my body know that, like, I've had my food and I'm done for the dinner. Every time.
Interesting. Do you focus on protein? What's your protein goal?
Yeah, so I focus on protein. I try to get about 140 to 160 ounces protein, just so that I can hold on to my muscle mass. But it is and it's not. Like, I start every day with a 42 ounce Fairlife, 42 grams of protein Fairlife, and that gets you a quarter of the way right there.
Those are tasty.
Yep.
Everyone agrees those taste the best.
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. Once you have, there's 3 versions, right, or more probably.
At least 3 that I've seen.
But I take the highest one.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's like $6 a bottle, but like,
it's like
it's
eating a
worth
steak.
It's worth it.
Oh, but yeah, where are you going to get that much protein?
That much protein, right?
Right.
No.
In delicious form.
Well, it's easy to just grab it, kind of.
Yeah. So I take it every morning in the car with a 32 ounce bottle of water with usually either Ultima or liquid IV electrolytes. And I have my grooms, which the little gummy bears for constipation. And that's sort of my ride to work. And I usually have like one of those high protein bagels, depending on which company. That's like breakfast. By that point, I've already got it like
60 grams.
60 grams of protein. And I'm like halfway home. So, one little lunch, a meal at dinner with heavy on chicken.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard a lot of doctors, I heard one particular doctor say that getting that high protein meal in the morning just sets you up to do better for the rest of your day in terms of eating and blood sugar regulation and all that. Do you have to, I guess you're monitoring your carbs? Do you have like a glucose monitor? One of those?
I don't have a glucose monitor. My doctor wasn't a big fan of one. One of my friends from the online community has given me one, and I could plan to use it, but my A1C is at 5.6. I'm a bit less curious. Now I'm just more about where little things spike. If things are under control, and what might be those little trigger points. But I'm less worried about that data at this point, because I know the A1C is at a good spot.
Yeah.
Well, so tell us about your TikTok. First of all, I don't know about you, but I actually didn't weigh for probably 5 years. Yeah. And I certainly, if you had told me I would ever say my weight on camera, I would have laughed at you and told you were a fool.
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you get to TikTok? Tell me about.
It's a great question. As I said, my doctor had given me nothing. And I work in the marketing side of education, right? So my students who I had on a TikTok team told me, you got to do everything. When I travel for work, they now taught me, like, when you look for a restaurant, you go to TikTok because you're going to find a really cool restaurant. And it's a great tool for it.
I've never even considered looking for a restaurant.
I thought they were crazy. I thought they were absolutely crazy, and they're not. And so, you learn from the youth. And in this particular case, I was like, I'm going to ask TikTok, because my students had just again reminded me that day, like, this is where you go when you really have a question. And I'm like, they were telling me not YouTube. Sorry, folks. So I did, and what I found first was doctors giving information in these short snippets that I could understand very quickly. And then I found this entire community, right? I found the people that I first saw there are now actual friends of mine. I found lives where people were going in and as a community just sitting there and talking and sharing, and you could just pop up and pop down and be part of this ongoing conversation. And I really want to do this, but I just don't want my students, anyone to see it. So I went out and thought, I always professionally, and all my life I go by Michael. Online I go by Mike. Bought a bunch of Beer King shirts and trucker hats because no one in my life at that time would have ever assumed it was me. I'm a 50-year-old man on TikTok, and I'm going to try and hide myself.
How'd that work out?
It actually worked out great because their algorithm separates so well that with one exception, there's literally one time that one of my students ever got my content. Not my students, it was an alum. And it was someone who was looking at these medications. And that's what's been interesting is in my professional circles, as I go out to conferences and colleagues, people come up to me talking to me about my TikTok all the time, and I don't advertise it. And then every single time, except once, it was someone who was either already on the meds or was researching the meds. The algorithm's that good that it doesn't go to any other colleagues except those folks. So I've been very blessed.
So what are you talking about in your TikTok?
So it started, like I said, it started sort of my journey and like documenting all of that. It moved from that. I do some news different from what you all do. I do a lot more culture news. So it's a lot more shopping trends and just, what big food is up to and that other thing. We've done some of the same stories in some ways. So I sort of leave the science news to the science nerds. I'm not the science guy. I'm married into a science family. I know about the expert. I talk more about the cultural stuff. And then I talk now a lot about systems and advocacy and how we actually change all of this. How do we make sure that, I live in the city of Boston. I live in a neighborhood that's highly diverse. I know that I carry a lot of privilege with these medications. And then my neighbor next door can't. And it weighs on me that I get that access and that my husband is now on these medications and we can afford to pay for compound medication for him and most people can't. And so that's become the crux of my talk file.
Talk about your advocacy and what you did this week with the OACD.
Yeah. Oh my God, this was amazing. So the Obesity Action Coalition, if you don't know, is an advocacy organization that was founded to help patients by providers to help make change in the system. So we went to Capitol Hill, a bunch of us, and met with senators and congresspeople, staff mostly. Some people actually met with the senators, Cory Booker and Pat in particular, to talk about TROA, the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act, which is an act that would push for these medications to be available under Medicare Part D, I believe, which would then force the insurers, the private insurers, to make it more publicly accessible to everybody else. So making it accessible to Medicare first. But also, like, who can bill for these things? It's your primary care. It's not the specialist. There's a lot of things that are happening in the system right now that aren't right. Apparently, it came close in the last congressional term in a more slimmed out version. And so this time we're talking about going back to the more expanded version. And I can tell you, it's so well received on the Hill of both parties. This is a bipartisan issue. It's sponsored by a Democrat out of New Mexico, I think, and Senator Cassidy, a Republican, is the head of the health committee. So it's rare that you get this kind of bipartisan issue, but obesity affects everybody.
So Cassidy's a doctor. So
Cassidy is a doctor.
I wonder if any of those senators are on any of these medications. Did any of them give you any personal experiences? I don't want to out anybody.
Yeah, so the people I talked to, the staffs that I talked to, mentioned friends, other folks that went out, because there was almost every state was covered by teams. I've heard other people have staffers that did it, and Senator Fetterman out of Pennsylvania,
he wrote the New York Times op-ed.
Very publicly wrote the New York Times op-ed and is out on Mounjaro. And I know the OAC met with Senator Fetterman this week himself. So
Books did. If you don't know Fetterman's story, we did a story on it. Go back, look it up, because it has helped him across the board with not just weight, all kinds of health issues you've had. He had a stroke, he's had all kinds of stuff.
And I went up to the Hill 2 months ago with Dave Knapp, and we went to Senator Cassidy's office and met with their GLP-1 staff. And I can tell you they're highly nuanced. We dropped into Fetterman's office, and they had good conversations with us. So, yeah, things are happening, and people on the Hill know what's going on. I was shocked when I went up the first time at the level of nuance that the health committee staff had. It was very heartening.
Well, so, I mean, and we talk, obviously, all of us do about pricing and accessibility and all of that all the time. And we certainly always urge Lily and Nova, please bring your price down. But that's not the only way to get there, right? So legislation, it has a lot of potential as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way our system works, right? You have to put some pressure on business because business is driven by corporate boards and profits. And so you need to have in the system the weights and measures on the scale to make all of that price control happen. So we're glad to get there.
I think it's exciting, man. We're hoping to do it next year.
Yeah, no, I think it is exciting. And I think there needs to be more opportunities because we just happened to be on Capitol Hill for this conference because the conference was at DC. Next year it's in Orlando, right? So when is that component coming back? Who's going to lead the charge to come back to Capitol Hill? And that's some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about.
Oh, who's doing it on the state level? Because there's so much happening in states right now that could dramatically change everything.
Yeah, I was talking to staff here. So I'm from Massachusetts. Massachusetts, I think the governor just pulled it from the public health insurance, which actually affects me because I actually am part of the public health insurance plan in the state of Massachusetts, the Zepbound side. Again, one of the things I think that shocked Congress people, staffs the most was, I would say, type 2 diabetes in our system is a gift. And that wakes people up because it gets you access. They still try to pull it from me. I've had PAs denied, but I generally can get it faster than someone who doesn't have it.
But yeah, so you've got Massachusetts pulling it, Connecticut going, hey, we're going to make our own.
Yep. Very lucky that my employer covers it for that. It doesn't cover for obesity, but it covers for that.
Type 2 diabetes was a gift. That's crazy. It's crazy that that's what you have to do to get these medicines covered. Well, our medicine isn't covered. Our insurance covers
No, it's not. We're
obesity medicine.
We're a small business. There is nothing available in the marketplace, period. We could not buy it at any point.
And I've talked to my HR department. Blue Cross, I work in Rhode Island. Blue Cross of Shield of Rhode Island doesn't have a formula, doesn't have an option to pick it up to put it on the formula, period. So my employees, my coworkers need to have sleep apnea to do it. It's not my employer's fault. It's the insurer's fault. It is the major insurer in a very small state.
Well, and I mentioned it to one of the folks at the OAC because I'm like, bravo out there advocating, but let's advocate for some insurance reform too, because I should have an option. Even if it's expensive, I should have an option to pay for my.
Absolutely.
And that's not going to come without regulation.
And not at $500 a month.
Yeah.
Because the big fear, right, is that we create a price point through the private system that it becomes completely acceptable that everyone now pays $200 rather than $25. Okay.
Yeah.
There's medications. So we all want access immediately, but we don't want to create a system so quickly that becomes the new norm and that we're all paying hundreds of dollars for medications that we should be able to get with a pill day.
I think it's interesting. I mean, I was going to talk to the OAC today. It was just kind of going down all these advocacy rabbit holes, but that's fine. Because there's so many doctors here, and is there a way to advocate with rappers? Because get the teaching added.
So interestingly, there's a doctor in Texas, Dr. Marilyn Window, who does some work on TikTok, and she's talked about she's working at, can't remember which medical school she's with. It's in Galveston, Texas, and she's creating that. Dr. I can't think of the guy. Was it Kushner who spoke yesterday? So he's actually building out a course to be shipped out to all medical schools to introduce the SEED to all medical schools. But I can tell you, my husband, I can remember I was with him when he was in medical school and coming back. The very first thing they taught them was nutrition. And that was also the last time they heard about it.
Oh, wow.
That was like one day of it, and then it was done for the next 4 years.
They don't learn it. How can they help us?
And now,
I think that it'd be more of a focus, right? Nutrition is like key to our health, everything.
it's been interesting. And now he's considering sitting for the obesity medicine boards.
Oh, yeah.
They're not think it's October.
Mm-hmm.
Taking the courses right now to maybe be able to do that. So it's a progression in time, right? That was 2010. It wasn't being taught to him. And now in 2025, he's seeking out the training to do that.
I think that's great that he, has some firsthand experience himself going through it and now getting the training to help other people. I think that would be amazing.
And there's a lot of doctors like that. There's some great doctors on TikTok who are also on the medications that I think provide some of the best insights I've seen because they understand this on a lived experience level.
Well, we've talked to a lot of them. And the nephew was it Dr. Frank DeVille or Dr. Soa? I forget which one said. We asked why they became an obesity medicine specialist, and I just realized I already was, whether I do it or not.
Oh, all my patients were
All my
coming in with all these obesity-related conditions, and so it was Dr. Frank Dieta.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Dr. Matea, who runs the Obesity Guide podcast. Her stuff is great. It's great about talking about how you don't have to be perfect. And the reason she's talking about that is because she understands that. Dr. Galindo, as I was saying, is also on the medications. There's another Dr. Brianna Ping, MDO, in TikTok as well, just taking the medications. And they just put such insights when they're willing to share, open up. Because the hardest part did you ever think in your 50s you'd be sitting here talking on camera about the thing that most embarrassed you about your body?
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, no, I think it's really great to be able to get these doctors talking about it and more and more and more because, for years I asked my doctor, can you give me something? I want to lose weight. Can you help me? And she's like, no, just diet and exercise. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't thought of that.
With I'm in a lot of spaces online, right? And the doctors are talking amongst themselves on LinkedIn and on X. And those are not my heroes because granted, they are sharing great research and they're moving that part of the move forward. But there's so much exponential work they could do online, sharing their stories with the community to actually change individual lives very quickly. So,
I think that's a lot of the problem, right? The doctors are talking to themselves
they are.
and not enough talking to patients and people who need the information. So I really do appreciate the doctors who are online talking about it.
That's why this conference is so awesome.
Yeah. To hear so many doctors give so many great points of view and information and studies on obesity. And it's like, I never knew this existed. So we were very glad. Have you been to this conference before?
No, one of the board members who happened to be on TikTok, who's become really close friends with me, Michelle Tenner, who's an RN on these medications. She told me about this, and she was in my ear over and over again, and I was resistant. They have more nuanced views about compound than I like. Let's put it that way. But they're nuanced, and I was kind of sort of up in arms about the letter they had released, and I was talked into it, and it's about it again.
Very good. So we always like to end up because everybody wants to know what your piece of advice.
What is my one piece of advice? That if you go online, you're going to hear a lot of great stories of extreme examples of people losing weight, because that's what gets us the views and that's what gets us the clicks. But please know that it is very normal to lose only half a pound a week. It is normal to go a couple months before you see anything at all. Don't panic. Time and treatment, as my friend Sabrina says all the time to me, it works over time, and not everyone is going to lose hundreds of pounds in 6 months. But the easy thing and the most addictive thing to watch is that, but that's not the reality for most of us.
Mm-hmm.
So social media because that's what you had.
Yeah, everybody wants fast weight loss, lose 10 pounds a week, but we want sustainable. This works. It's been life-changing, I'm sure, for you and for us as you as well. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I celebrate the day I took my first job as my new birthday.
What day?
March 10th.
March 10th. Woohoo! Shout out to March.
Yep. Yep. We literally go out to dinner.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does the future look like?
I'm still figuring that out.
Well, you believe you have one now, right?
Yeah, no, I do. And it's interesting because I didn't plan for one. And now I'm sort of looking at what that next chapter looks like. And it is awesome to be able to do that in my 50s and sort of recreate my life in a way and be on social media, TikTok in a public way, something I never thought I'd do. So yeah, I'm on a new journey and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm going outdoors, I'm going on hikes, I'm traveling again, and it's glorious.
That's awesome.
Life is an amazing thing if we have a body to keep us there.
Yep, I didn't plan to be here past 55. Here I am. I know I'll be there.
Wow.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
I'm glad you found it. I'm glad that we're telling people out there that this, these GLP-1s work. They work for most people. So ask your doctor, start with your doctor.
And make sure they give you good information. And don't be afraid to look for people who will give you that information if you're not getting it from your doctor. Build your care team.
Well, build your care team. So I've talked to a lot of people at this conference that say, well, my doctor for this and my doctor for this and I'm like, you have more than one doctor. Like
Yeah.
am I the only one in America that only had one doctor? I thought they, you kind of did a one-stop shop, but no, there's so many other places to go to get help.
Up until this, I had one doctor. And that doctor I said, I clicked on the video and I said, if you just got a box of Mounjaro,
Yeah.
that is now my cardiologist.
Oh, wow.
And I have someone else I've hired occasionally as a coach. And I brought in a telehealth that supports me. And I now have an obesity med doctor and a nutritionist on call on my phone at all times. I'm lucky I can afford to add those extra luxuries to my journey. But if you don't, just go see doctors that you can get on your insurance. If they're out there, they're out there.
Yeah.
So-
Always start with what your insurance will
Well, and
accept.
I think look at it, the medicines, it's certainly money, but take your power back. If you're passively sitting back and going, I'm never going to lose weight, my doctor's not being helpful, these medications will empower and will give you your agency. But you still have to take it. So find the doctors you need, find the education you need, find that help you need, the therapy, whatever it is, doesn't matter.
Yeah, getting access is really half the battle, I feel like.
I mean, it's the biggest battle and it's the biggest stressor, right? Because unless you decide you're going to buy compound every month, and even that's a stressor because God knows how that will go.
Why haven't they shipped my order yet?
It's like people get
When will my order ship?
people get letters that their PA just randomly stopped after they thought they had it for a year all the time. People with diabetes switch insurances and are told, no, we don't carry it for diabetes. You have to go back on metformin. Like it's fight for access, fight for your health. And it's
Very good, Mike. Well, thank you for joining us, man. So
Thank
you
you,
guys can
Jay.
see we're all outside in a lovely day in Washington, D.C. I think there might have been a siren that you could hear earlier.
It's DC and there's sirens.
You know what? It's real. People ask me all the time, they're like, are you going to edit that out? I'm like, nope, it is real.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is real. Well, very good. So tell them again how to find you online.
Sure. I am Mike.onAmission2 on TikTok. That's my main account. And I'm also on Instagram, Mike.onAmission2, and on TikTok at GLP-1 link.
Very good. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the Downsized.
Yes,
We're-
please like and subscribe. You can also check out our website at thedownsized.org. Got a lot of links there. We've got our Downsized cruise coming up in June. We hope you will check that out and join us for that.
Absolutely.
You want to come on a cruise?
I would love to.
You can meet Mike. You can meet us.
Yeah, it'll be all kinds of fun.
I mean, this has been such a great experience coming to this conference, meeting other people on GLP-1s, other content creators. It's just really been amazing. So if you out there have the opportunity next year to come to the Obesity Action Coalition Conference.
I think it's in Orlando next year.
Ooh, yeah. A lot of people said, we're going to Disney World.
That's exactly what people are saying.
So that's like,
In July. So hot.
oh my gosh.
I mean, we're in
We'll be
DC in
hot.
July. I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
The only place hotter, Orlando in July. All right. We'll be
Very
excited.
good. Well, that is it for us today. So make sure you check out Mike. He's doing some great stuff. And if you'd like to be a part of the Downsized Dish, how can they do it?
Oh, send me an email to Laraine at thedownsized.org, LARAINE at thedownsized.org. Just say, hey, Laraine, I want to be on the Downsized Dish. I'll send you a link to our calendar, and you can pick a time that works for you.
And the secret is, I would run one of these every day. Everybody has a story. We've interviewed people who haven't even started yet. They're just thinking about it, all the way to people who have lost several hundred pounds. There's no right or wrong place. Everybody wants to see somebody like them, and that might be you. If you haven't seen somebody like you, come on, you'll see yourself.
Come on. Southern man. Over
I know, the Southern man. All right, very good. Well, thank you very much. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
This is Mike. We'll see you next time.